Sara Gilbert grew up in an environment where creativity and entertainment were part of everyday life, even before she understood what that meant. Born on January 29, 1975, in Santa Monica, California, she was surrounded by relatives who had already built careers in Hollywood. From a young age, she observed how performance, writing, and production shaped the lives of people around her. This early exposure created both inspiration and pressure, as success in her family was not unusual but almost expected. Unlike many children, she was not discovering the idea of acting later in life. It was already part of her identity. However, this also meant she had to navigate expectations that were larger than her years. Even in childhood, she showed curiosity about storytelling and performance, often drawn to the structure of television and film. Her early experiences gave her a sense of direction, but also a quiet awareness that standing out would require effort and resilience. The entertainment world was not just a dream for her. It was a surrounding reality that shaped how she saw her future. Hollywood family background. Sara Gilbert's family background played a significant role in shaping her path toward acting. Her mother worked in talent management and production, while other relatives had deep ties to classic television history. This created an atmosphere where creative work was both respected and expected. Growing up, Sara heard stories about the entertainment industry not as distant fantasies but as real professional experiences. Her family connections gave her access to opportunities that many young aspiring actors did not have, but they also came with subtle pressure to live up to a legacy. Instead of feeling completely sheltered or overwhelmed, she experienced a mix of encouragement and responsibility. She was aware that others in her extended family had already achieved recognition, which influenced how she viewed her own ambitions. Rather than relying solely on family connections, she developed a desire to prove herself through her own talent. This mindset would later become important as she entered Hollywood at a young age, determined to build an identity that felt authentic and earned rather than simply inherited. Childhood pressures. Even before stepping fully into acting, Sara Gilbert experienced emotional and social pressures that shaped her early development. Growing up in a family connected to Hollywood meant she was constantly aware of achievement and visibility. While other children focused on school and friendships without public attention, she had already begun to understand the expectations placed on her. This created a sense of quiet pressure to succeed, or at least to find her place in a competitive environment. She also faced challenges in traditional schooling, where she often felt disconnected from structured classroom learning. This made her early introduction to tutoring and acting feel more comfortable and aligned with her personality. However, the shift away from a normal childhood experience also meant she spent more time in professional settings than social ones. While this helped her develop focus and discipline, it also contributed to feelings of isolation. These early pressures did not define her negatively, but they shaped her emotional awareness and helped her develop resilience that would later support her long career in television. First steps into acting. Sara Gilbert's first real step into acting came at a very young age, when she appeared in a small commercial role. This experience introduced her to the rhythm of production sets, cameras, and performance direction. Although the role itself was brief, it left a strong impression on her and confirmed her interest in acting as something more than a childhood curiosity. From that point forward, she began to see acting as a serious possibility rather than just a family-related interest. She continued to take small roles while balancing her education through tutoring rather than traditional schooling. This flexible structure allowed her to focus more deeply on acting opportunities while still maintaining academic development. Early on, she showed a natural ability to express emotion in a controlled and believable way, which helped her stand out among other young performers. These early steps were not dramatic breakthroughs, but they were important building blocks. They helped her gain confidence in professional environments and prepared her for the much larger role that would soon change her life completely. Early emotional challenges. As her career developed, Sara Gilbert began to experience emotional challenges that came with growing up in the public eye. Fame at a young age can create confusion about identity, and she often found herself trying to separate her personal feelings from public perception. While she was admired for her character on television, she privately struggled with feelings of isolation and uncertainty. The contrast between her on-screen confidence and her real-life introspection created emotional complexity. She also began to understand that personal development does not always align neatly with professional success. Even during moments of achievement, she sometimes felt disconnected from the expectations placed on her. These experiences shaped her emotional maturity and encouraged her to reflect more deeply on her personal identity. Rather than hiding these feelings, she gradually began to acknowledge them as part of her growth. This period was not defined by crisis, but by internal questioning and self-awareness that would later become important in her journey toward understanding herself more fully. Young love and identity. During her teenage years on Roseanne, Sara Gilbert experienced her first significant romantic relationship with co-star Johnny Galecki. What began as a typical young relationship soon became more meaningful on an emotional level. As they spent time together, Sara began to notice that her feelings were more complicated than she initially understood. This period became an important turning point in her personal identity development. She started questioning her emotional responses and gradually realized that she was beginning to understand her sexuality in a deeper way. This process was not immediate or simple. It involved reflection, confusion, and emotional honesty. At the same time, she valued the connection she had with Johnny, who remained supportive and understanding as she navigated her feelings. Their relationship eventually evolved into a strong friendship based on mutual respect. This experience played a crucial role in helping her understand herself better, even though it came with emotional difficulty. It marked the beginning of a long journey toward personal clarity and acceptance. Coming out journey. Sara Gilbert's journey toward publicly acknowledging her sexuality was gradual and deeply personal. For many years, she kept her private life separate from her public image due to concerns about how it might affect her career. The entertainment industry during her early years was less open about LGBTQ identities, which added to her hesitation. Over time, however, she became more comfortable with her identity and began sharing it with trusted individuals in her life. The process of coming out was not a single moment but a series of steps that reflected growing confidence and self-acceptance. When she eventually spoke publicly about her sexuality, it was a meaningful moment of honesty and liberation. While she still experienced moments of uncertainty about professional perception, she also felt relief in no longer hiding an important part of herself. Her openness contributed to broader conversations about representation and acceptance in the entertainment industry, making her experience meaningful not only personally but also culturally. Private life and trust. As Sara Gilbert moved into adulthood, she became more intentional about protecting her private life. Years of public attention had taught her the importance of boundaries between personal experiences and professional visibility. She chose to share certain aspects of her life while keeping others more private, especially when it came to relationships and family matters. Trust became an important theme in her personal world, as she valued relationships where she could be authentic without public pressure. Over time, she learned to navigate the balance between openness and privacy, especially as her career continued to attract attention. This approach helped her maintain emotional stability while still engaging with her public role. She also developed a stronger sense of control over her own narrative, choosing when and how to speak about her experiences. This balance allowed her to protect her emotional well-being while still remaining connected to her audience and professional responsibilities. First, long relationship, family. Sara Gilbert later entered a long-term relationship with television writer Allison Adler, which became a significant part of her adult life. Together, they built a family and welcomed 2 children, creating a stable home environment that was deeply important to her. This period represented a sense of grounding after years of public and professional intensity. She often described motherhood as a transformative experience that shifted her priorities and perspective. Balancing parenting with a demanding career required adjustment, but she embraced the responsibility with dedication. Their relationship lasted for several years and was marked by shared parenting and collaboration in family life. Over time, however, the relationship eventually came to an end. Despite the separation, both continued to prioritize their children and maintain respectful communication. This chapter of her life reflected both joy and emotional complexity, as she experienced the fulfillment of family life alongside the challenges of long-term relationships evolving over time. Breakup and healing. Following the end of her long-term relationship, Sara Gilbert went through a period of emotional adjustment and reflection. Ending a significant partnership is always a difficult experience, especially when children are involved. She approached this transition with honesty about her feelings and took time to process the change. Publicly, she remained composed, but privately she worked through the emotional impact in a thoughtful and careful way. Healing became an important part of this stage of her life, as she focused on rebuilding emotional balance and stability. She also reflected on what she had learned from the relationship, including the importance of communication, growth, and mutual understanding. Over time, she found ways to move forward while maintaining a strong co-parenting relationship. This experience reinforced her resilience and ability to adapt to life changes while continuing to care for her family and career responsibilities. Second, love and marriage. Later in her life, Sara Gilbert entered a new relationship with musician and producer Linda Perry, marking another important chapter in her personal journey. Their connection developed into a committed partnership that eventually led to marriage. Their relationship was highly public in some moments, especially during the engagement, which included a memorable and creative proposal. This phase of her life brought renewed excitement and emotional connection. As she and Perry built a family together, they welcomed a child and shared responsibilities in parenting and creative work. For a time, their relationship represented stability and shared purpose. Sara often spoke about feeling supported and secure during this period, appreciating the strength of their bond. However, like many relationships, it eventually faced challenges that led to separation. Despite the end of their marriage, both expressed continued respect for one another and a commitment to family. This chapter reflected both joy and difficulty, highlighting the complexity of long-term relationships. Parenthood and responsibility. Parenthood became one of the most defining aspects of Sara Gilbert's adult life. Raising 3 children while maintaining a career in television required careful balance and constant adjustment. She often spoke about the importance of being present for her children, even when work demands were high. This responsibility influenced many of her career decisions, including stepping back from certain professional commitments. Motherhood also changed her perspective on success, shifting focus from public achievement to personal fulfillment and family well-being. She approached parenting with dedication, aiming to provide stability and emotional support for her children. At the same time, she acknowledged the challenges of managing time, energy, and emotional balance. Parenthood was not just a role for her but a central part of her identity, shaping how she viewed life, work, and relationships. Loss within Roseanne family. Throughout her life, Sara Gilbert also experienced the sadness of losing former colleagues and friends from her Roseanne years. One of the most impactful losses was that of co-star Glenn Quinn, who passed away at a young age after facing personal struggles. His passing deeply affected those who had worked closely with him, including Sara. When the show was later revived, she chose to honor his memory by naming a character after him, ensuring his presence remained part of the story's continuation. This gesture reflected the lasting emotional bonds formed during the original series. In addition to personal loss, the Roseanne revival also faced public controversy that changed its trajectory. Sara was outspoken in addressing the situation, emphasizing her values and distancing herself from harmful actions. These events marked a difficult period for the cast and left a lasting impact on the legacy of the show. Reboot and controversy. When Roseanne returned to television decades after its original run, it brought both excitement and challenges. The revival initially received strong attention and positive audience response. However, controversy surrounding public statements by the original lead actress led to significant consequences, including the cancellation of the reboot in its original form. Sara Gilbert, who had played a key role in both the original series and the revival, publicly expressed disappointment and concern about the situation. She emphasized respect, inclusion, and responsibility, reinforcing her stance on the importance of accountability. The incident created tension within public discussions about the show's legacy. Despite this, Sara remained focused on continuing the story through a restructured version of the series. The experience highlighted how quickly public perception can shift and how deeply personal and professional worlds can intersect in the entertainment industry. Career pressure and the talk. In addition to acting and producing, Sara Gilbert also co-created and co-hosted a daytime talk show, which became a significant part of her career. The program allowed her to engage in discussions on culture, relationships, and social topics, but it also added new layers of responsibility and visibility. Over time, the demands of the show, combined with her acting commitments and family life, created increasing pressure. She eventually made the decision to step away, explaining that she needed to restore balance in her life and focus more on her children. This choice reflected her growing awareness of personal limits and well-being. Leaving the show was an emotional decision, but also a necessary one for her health and family priorities. It marked a shift toward simplifying her professional commitments and focusing on what mattered most to her at that stage of life: health reset and personal balance. After years of balancing multiple responsibilities, Sara Gilbert began focusing more intentionally on her health and personal well-being. She acknowledged that she had neglected self-care during particularly demanding periods of her career and family life. To address this, she introduced small but consistent changes to her daily routine, including light exercise and mindfulness practices. These adjustments helped her rebuild energy and improve emotional balance. She also explored therapy and wellness approaches to process stress and life transitions. Rather than pursuing extreme changes, she focused on sustainable habits that fit her lifestyle. This period marked a shift toward simplicity and self-awareness, allowing her to better manage the demands of work and parenting. It was not about transformation through intensity, but through steady, manageable improvement, reflection, and ongoing life. In her later years, Sara Gilbert has continued to reflect on her journey with honesty and perspective. Her life has included early fame, personal discovery, relationships, parenthood, and professional reinvention. Each stage has brought both joy and challenge, shaping her into someone who values balance and authenticity. She continues to work in television while prioritizing her family and personal well-being. Rather than defining her life by a single success or struggle, she views it as a continuous process of growth and adaptation. Her story is one of resilience, shaped by both public visibility and private evolution. Today, she remains an influential figure in entertainment, not only for her acting but also for her openness about life's complexities. Top of form, bottom of form.